Britain's next generation of emergency service recruits, chosen from a pool of thousands. Rookies like Police Special Lawrence, about to go on the streets in uniform for the first time.
I can't wait to learn a bit more off saving officers.
And 21-year-old Kelly, starting out as a paramedic after years of studying.
I got here, I've proved to myself that I can do it, I've proved to others I can do it.
Mountain rescue recruit Tom's a GP. He wanted to combine his medical skills with his love of the outdoors.
It's nice to be able to make a difference, and sometimes it can be a life-saving intervention that you make.
They've survived months of intensive traying.
Come on, let's move! Get back! One casualty, no signs of life.
They've been tested to their limits.
Spray! The birdie. Oh, beat. Don't panic and don't worry.
All to realise their dream careers.
I didn't think I could do it, that's who I am.
Join them for their first time on the front line. In today's programme, rookie Kelly's trauma training is put to the test as she attends a child whose life is on the line.
He's got a large laceration to his cheek.
Police Special Lawrence responds to an allegation of serious domestic assault on his very first shift.
Police, what's going on?
And mountain rescue recruit Tom's called to a badly injured walker who needs airlifting to safety.
We need to get this put together ASAP.
A fresh intake of Cheshire Police Specials, volunteer officers, is being trained up before they go out on the streets for real.
Put your hand on top of the cuff. That can help you lock it in nice and tight.
Among them, 22-year-old landscape gardener Lawrence Towers. Lawrence and his classmates are giving up 20 days of their time to be trained. And when they become specials, they'll need to devote at least 4.5 hours a week to the cause.
Down. I do some volunteering for charity anyway, and it's the best volunteering experience I think you can really get. It's just pride in it, really, more than anything, because I'm wearing this uniform that stands for something, and it's nice to be part of it.
Specials serve alongside regular officers and have the same powers, so they need to be physically fit, able to defend themselves if attacked, and knowledgeable in police procedures and the law.
List the component parts of the National Decision-Making Model, of which there are 6.
Lawrence has enjoyed every minute of the training and looks forward to putting it into practice.
I can't wait to learn a bit more off saving officers and what they've learned and how they find these techniques work best.
So you grab hold of it, just bring it around, push them down, and then stepping back.
When rookies successfully complete the course, they're invited to a ceremony to be sworn in as specials by a magistrate.
Lawrence Towers. He enjoys working outside as a landscape gardener and is looking forward to helping his community.
It's a big moment for Lawrence and his mum, Elizabeth.
I'm absolutely over the moon. I'm so proud of him. I think he looks fantastic in his uniform. Really bowls me over to see him. He's a really caring person, so I think this suits him down to the ground.
Now Lawrence has his warrant card. He's a fully fledged special.
That's the money.
His police career is about to begin.
I don't think it'll really hit home until I'm actually out patrolling, wearing my full uniform and everything, but I've got the identification and sworn myself in front of a magistrate and in front of Mum, Assistant Chief Constable, so well on the way, really.
Two months later, and Lawrence arrives for his first shift. It's an unusual feeling for a landscape gardener, putting on a police uniform.
The first time you catch sort of a glimpse of yourself in a window is quite a big moment, apparently. Feel very proud of yourself. Wearing a uniform, can you not love it?
Lawrence is considering applying to become a full-time policeman and leaving gardening behind. His first few shifts as a special will help him decide.
Give me a taste of the job and see what it's like, so why not sort of test it before you buy sort of thing.
When they first start, specials are assessed during an 18-month probationary period by constable tutors. Lawrence's mentor today is PC Warren Davidson.
It'll be a strange day for him. It'll be the first day he's in uniform. As soon as he steps out that gate, people don't realise it's his first day, or whether he's done 20 years or anything. They expect him to know stuff. Yeah, it's a bit terrifying when you go out them doors, first day, but we've all got to have one, so we'll see where we go.
When Lawrence and Warren head out, they're soon asked to respond to a complaint from homeowners in a residential area.
There was reports of a male who's a little bit worse for wear, a bit drunk, down on this street at the bottom here.
It's a regular problem in this part of town.
It's a place where they all stand around drinking. Just it's a worry that they're all there.
It doesn't take long to find the source of the complaint.
That's what we're all doing here today. Drinking. Who's these ones? Pardon?
Whose are these?
They've been here.
Yeah, right, okay.
The police are empowered to remove alcohol consumed in designated public places. The men claim this beer isn't theirs, so it's surprising they're so unhappy about it being poured away.
No, you just said it's not yours. It was just here.
Lawrence gets an early lesson in firm but fair policing.
Move on your way. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
As a landscape gardener, he isn't happy about the litter left behind by the local drinkers.
I work hard to keep the place tidy, so once I'm doing my work, it doesn't go down too well.
Mess cleared, drinkers moved on, job done. But the shift is only just starting. 100 miles away in the West Midlands, another raw emergency service recruit is finding her fate. Rookie paramedic Kelly Wilkes has already attended 2 road traffic collisions.
You got any pain anywhere at the moment?
Now her second shift beckons. Kelly's career with the West Midlands Ambulance Service began in September 2013 with a training course to prepare her for active service. She was joined on the course by her best friend Abby Collins. They met while studying paramedic science at uni.
We've gone through our whole training together, the 2 years, and now it's just fantastic that we've got to do the induction and we're going to be colleagues in West Midlands.
The same service, yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
Kelly and Abby had been assigned to different ambulance stations, so it was nice to spend some time together before their careers began in earnest.
So we've got the SD elevation, but no TQA. So what did we say about time frame?
Less than a day.
So between 1 and 4 hours normally.
On the 6-week course, Kelly, Abby and the other new recruits were trained in clinical technique,
Popping on loosely to start with.
personal safety,
When I now try and resist with my arms, I've got no wriggle room.
driving skills,
You're quite late on your vision there because you could look right over that through the hedge.
and medical equipment.
So we're looking at working on these vehicles that you see just behind me.
All in preparation for their first shifts as real paramedics.
It's me taking everything I've learned and going out and doing it all then for myself. I didn't think I could do it, but then here I am.
A week later, and Kelly's paramedic career is underway. She's just started her second shift alongside experienced colleague Ben Crown. They're responding to a 999 about an elderly man who's had a bad fall.
The patient's sat at 87%, and he's got a heart rate of 240.
A blood oxygen level of 87% is dangerously low, and that's not the only concern.
The patient's got a very high heart rate, that's why we've speeded up a little bit.
The most challenging patients for rookie paramedics are the very young and the very old. This casualty's 82.
Hello. Hello. My name's Kelly. I'm a paramedic from the ambulance service.
The patient, Roy, has mobility issues and was due to go to hospital to be fitted with an orthopaedic shoe. But when the transport arrived, he fell over. Kelly tries to find out exactly what happened before she begins treatment.
I was getting changed, ready for going to the hospital. I was sitting on my favourite chair and I thought I saw the ambulance. I got up and, of course, I did it too quickly.
Kelly monitors Roy's heart and checks his blood pressure. And he's diabetic, so she's going to measure his blood sugars too, to make sure he isn't hypoglycemic.
Oh.
That didn't hurt. I don't believe that, Al.
Roy's blood sugars are fine, and his heart tracing and blood pressure indicate his condition has stabilised in the short time the paramedics have been here.
And definitely no new pain in your legs.
Ben and Kelly want to get Roy up to see if his observations remain stable, but he's frail and needs to be lifted carefully.
All I want you to do is just sit yourself up. Keep your feet on the ground. Okay. Up you come. Bend in the middle for me, Roy.
I'm very heavy.
So far, so good. Roy's legs are supporting his weight, a positive sign.
Hold on to me if you need to.
I'll hold on to something.
Grab me little vandals.
That's it.
That's it, look.
Do you come here often?
Oh, Roy, you're a charmer.
She may be new to the job, but Kelly has already developed a lovely manner with her patients.
How are you feeling now you're off the floor, Roy?
Oh, much better, thank you.
That's good.
I didn't feel too bad down there. Actually, if the water kicks me out, I know where to sleep now.
Getting back up hasn't caused any problems. Roy's heart rate and blood pressure are still fine.
Couldn't cut my fingernails while you're there, could you?
Do you think I have?
I just thought I'd ask.
As a young man in the armed services, Roy was fit and strong. But now it's a different story. Kelly and Ben think he should avoid the stress of a trip to A&E.
Everything we've done is fine, and being honest with you, the hospital aren't going to do much more than what we've done.
No.
So obviously your options are we either stay here or we take you up to the hospital.
I'll stay here.
You stay here.
Roy's GP will be informed about his fall. He'll keep a close eye on him for the next few days.
Thank you very much.
People think it is about the emergency side, the trauma, the blood and the gore and everything, but it's actually not. A lot of it is giving patients support, advice, treating them at home if we can. A chat and company, especially in elderly people, it goes a long way. And a lot of the time that's all they want.
200 miles away in the Lake District, 2 more emergency service rookies are just starting out. Mountain rescue recruits Phil Gerard and Tom Gallagher. The Cockermouth Mountain Rescue Team gets over 60 call-outs a year. But the volunteers' time commitment doesn't end there. They also regularly get together to practice their skills. 26 days a year devoted to helicopter evacuation drills, 4x4 training.
This is one of the few times you could get a bit of kickback off the wheel.
Treating critical patients.
One casualty is deeply hypothermic, no signs of life.
And rope rescue.
Control from guiding line, we've got an attack on the package.
The training sessions are also used to assess potential new recruits, like project manager Phil and local Dr. Tom.
What's his pain score, did he say?
So he's 7, rest rate was 20.
Tom applied to join Mountain Rescue because he wanted to put his medical skills to use in the toughest of environments.
It's nice to be able to make a difference, especially in hostile conditions, when it's raining, when it's cold, when it's snowing, when it's icy. You know, somebody is in a lot of distress. It can be a life-saving intervention that you make.
Fellow rookie Phil comes from a military and mountaineering background. He wants to use his climbing skills to help others and again experience the camaraderie he enjoyed in the forces.
The hardest part of mountain rescue is that the teams are massively closely knit, and you're coming into a family, and very stable family. They've been together for years and years and years.
A lot of what they do is second nature, and we're just trying to catch up and be of use to them on the hill.
And a year ago, shortly after Tom and Phil first applied to join the team, they got the chance to prove their worth.
51-year-old female forward on the path down from Red Pipe towards Newsbury. Over.
Tom and Phil had just arrived at the base for a first aid course when the alert happened.
We'd literally just gotten out of the vehicles when the call came through from the police.
And we stood around looking at each other, sort of like slightly, okay, it's call out, these guys are going to shoot off. He said, no, jump in the vehicles. Okay, brilliant. And off you go, blue lights, all very exciting.
It was an unexpected chance for the rookies to impress. They were desperate not to blow it. The casualty was a 51-year-old holidaymaker who'd slipped on a rock, tearing a cartilage in her knee.
It was excruciating. And I tried to get up with support, and I just put my toe on the ground. I actually immediately crumbled.
Sue called 999, and within minutes an emergency helicopter arrived, but the rocky terrain meant it couldn't land to pick her up. The weather was deteriorating fast, and it would soon be getting dark. Sue's fate was in the hands of the mountain rescue team.
I grabbed the rope, and which is reasonably heavy, and start pounding your way uphill.
I didn't want to lose face, so I made sure I picked up one of the heavy bags and just started my trudge up the mountain.
And you're breathing hard, and you get there, and you're pounding in your ears.
The team erected a makeshift shelter to protect Sue from the biting wind and rain. Then they prepped a stretcher to get her off the mountain quickly and safely.
You see a casualty that was having a bad day, now surrounded by, 6 or so guys, all doing a job. It's like a well-oiled machine when it goes really well.
Tom and Phil had to join that well-oiled machine and get Sue off the mountain fast. She was becoming hypothermic.
By that stage I was shivering, really cold. And I think I was really in shock, but they were really marvellously reassuring.
Sue was securely strapped up and covered in blankets. It was time to carry her to safety, but the wet rocky terrain was treacherous, so the guide rope Phil had brought was used to support the stretcher team.
They explained, "Oh, Susan, we're just going over this stream now. It's a bit slippy, but you're all right, don't worry. We're going to have to, tilt the stretcher a bit more because this is a particularly steep bit, but you're okay."
Throughout the call-outs, the rookies were closely observed by senior colleagues to check they were made of the right stuff.
We were trying to prove ourselves that we were useful, so you're eager to try and do your best.
Basically, they're testing out your personal skills to make sure they're safe on the mountain and you don't want to kill yourself or anybody else.
Tom and Phil took their turns carrying the stretcher, slotting into the team like seasoned veterans. When they reached base camp, Sue was delivered to the helicopter, which whisked her off to A&E.
It's just like a fairy tale, really, just to be rescued like that. It really was. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing.
Phil and Tom had proved their value to the team. They were well on their way to becoming official mountain rescuers.
If they think we're good enough to come on this one, maybe they think we're good enough to come on another one. Maybe we'll get put on the call-out list.
I hope to build on that, and I hope to be part of this team for quite some time to come.
Back in crew, Special PC Lawrence and his mentor Warren are 3 hours into their shift. They're responding to an urgent 999 call.
It's a domestic incident.
Shout up on BA, ask them whether they've got any card on the address.
Any what on the address?
Card. It's like a history of domestic incidents, family issues.
Echo Alpha 4978 BA.
Every year in Britain, 2 million people report domestic abuse. It accounts for 10% of emergency calls. Such cases are challenging even for experienced officers. This is Lawrence's first day.
Oh, police.
The homeowner refuses to let the cameras in.
What's going on?
She tells Lawrence and Warren her brother smashed a window to get into her home, then put his hands around her throat and strangled her until she passed out.
Drop the attitude, Tom. Drop the attitude.
Lawrence handcuffs and arrests him on the spot. Next stop, the police station.
Sticking behind the rear passenger side of our car.
Lawrence has made his first arrest on his first shift. Normally, specials have to wait months for this moment.
He's been arrested for Section 39 assault and criminal damage. He smashed the window in the house and he assaulted his sister, strangled her.
Last year, over 600,000 violent offences were reported in Britain. Half led to serious injury.
We're going to take him now back to Pruney, where we're going to transport him up to Middlewich Custody Facility. Lawrence will get a chance to book him in and see the custody procedures.
Lawrence's training is being put to full use. His next task, booking a suspect into custody for the first time. As arresting officer, it's down to him to report back to the custody sergeant.
Responded to a call of domestic assault, an allegation that he'd strangled his sister.
The suspect's read his rights, and then it's time for fingerprints and photographs in Cheshire Police's state-of-the-art facility.
It's like a nuclear bunker or something.
It's unusual for the arresting officer to watch this stage, but Lawrence is transfixed.
It's just new. Never seen it before.
Processing complete, the suspect is treated to some police hospitality.
Do you want a cup of tea, coffee? Beer, 2 sugars. Two sugars, alright?
And then banged up.
Whack it there, fresh. Alright? We'll be back with your tea in a minute.
For Lawrence, all that remains is the paperwork, and his first shift will be over.
I've had an arrest, I was shaking and adrenaline pumping.
No matter how nervous he was, I don't think he showed it too much.
Quite a milestone, really, to get over.
And the lad who we'd arrested didn't realise it was his first day.
Having spent days in a padded room, throwing each other on mats and putting handcuffs on each other, it definitely paid off.
That's the first time he's been arrested, and it's the first time that Lawrence has arrested someone. Worked in quite well.
Back in Birmingham, rookie paramedic Kelly's on a break. She's getting advice from experienced colleague Ben on what to keep in her locker.
Definitely a spare uniform.
Spare clothes, yeah. And a towel.
Yeah, in case you need to have a wash at work. Because it will happen eventually.
Have you had to before?
Yeah.
Like, what was the job?
The patient vomit all over me.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, all of my hair, all of my face, my hands,
really?
everywhere. Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Had to be showered at work.
Their break is brought to an abrupt end by a red alert.
Major trauma, child versus car.
4102.
6-year-old, the car landed on the car, he did with the windscreen which has shattered it.
It's the sort of call paramedics hate.
Child versus car.
Road accidents are the biggest single killer of children in Britain. Over 2,000 boys and girls are killed or seriously injured each year. Kelly was dreading a case like this so early in her career.
This is quite a serious job, major trauma potentially, so we'll assess the situation more when we get there.
We're here.
Oh, wait, already?
Yeah.
The police clear the way for the ambulance. Just a week ago in training, Kelly was doing trauma role plays. Now it's for real. The 6-year-old boy is called Hadis. He's badly injured.
Oh gosh. We probably need people to clear out of the way.
A local GP was nearby when Hadis was hit. He's trying to stabilise him.
Can I have a quick handover from somebody?
I'm the GP. He's hit this car.
Yeah.
Hit the back window.
Yeah.
Fell on the floor.
Okay.
He's got a broken jaw, definitely.
Broken jaw.
Leading into the airway.
Yeah.
Airway stable at the moment.
Kelly needs to put a cervical collar onto Hadis. If his neck's broken and he moves his head, he could be paralysed.
Right, if I can...
He's kind of flexing and raining as well. He's probably got a head injury too.
182, reference our current details.
Ben updates control.
Believed to have been projected into the back of another vehicle. Confirmed large laceration to his head and confirmed broken jaw. Currently collar and boarding the child. We will be leaving as soon as possible, over.
But there's a problem. Hadis is wedged under a car. And that's not the only concern.
I think there's a leg as well.
There's a leg fracture as well. Okay.
I think he's not moving it and it's swollen.
The police have found the driver of the car trapping Hadis. He's about to move it.
Backwards, please. Keep going, keep going. Away,
Keep going
away.
Right.
Bring this in closer.
Odysseus' leg is badly broken and the fracture is compacted. The buckled bone needs to be pulled apart to reduce his pain.
You're going to have to apply manual traction to that leg.
Okay. All right. Right.
Okay. You have to pull your leg, mate.
All right. I've got it.
Okay. Excellent, well done.
Kelly's successfully applied traction and straightened his leg. Now he can be moved onto the board, but they have to be careful not to cause any more damage to his fragile body.
1, 2, 3. Can we come up a little bit? Up a bit as well.
Good man, well done, matey.
Stops, please.
How's his airway looking?
Airway's looking fine.
Suddenly, a worrying development. Odysseus has fallen unconscious. That could indicate a serious brain injury.
Harris?
Ben tries to rouse him.
Harris?
Harris?
Harris, open your eyes for me. Harris?
We need to get going.
All right, man.
It's good news. Odysseus has come round. The next challenge, moving him onto the ambulance. Kelly needs to continue straightening his shattered leg as he's carried. No easy task.
What we're going to do, we're going to lift him up away from the car, turn him around so his head is facing that way, load him onto our wagon. All right? Okay, on lift, ready, steady, lift. You remember so well, matey. Well done. Wow, here we are. All right, pal.
Before they set off, Kelly and Ben want to get some painkillers into Odysseus. It's going to be a bumpy journey.
That's one at a time. So it's collared and placed in the scoop stretcher, and my colleague is applying manual traction. The doctor who's on scene is an ex-anaesthetist, now GP, and he's travelling with us to provide support. Over.
The nearest trauma centre is 20 minutes away, and it's the middle of rush hour. But Odysseus needs potentially life-saving treatment fast. His parents have been notified and will meet him at the hospital. In the back of the ambulance, Kelly's put Odysseus on a drip to maintain his fluids, and they work hard to keep him awake.
Harris, that's it. Well done. Keep your eyes open for me, mate. That's it.
Kelly's treatment has worked. Odysseus' condition has stabilised.
Look where we are.
We're at the hospital now. Mummy's going to be waiting.
All right. Well done.
The 6-year-old doesn't want to let go of Kelly's hand.
Oh, he's got hold of my finger.
The specialist trauma team is ready and waiting. Odysseus is in good hands. It was a tough challenge so early in her career, but Kelly rose to it.
Second day out, and dealing with a paediatric major trauma and dealing with it so well is something that you can be really proud of, and you did really, really well. Be happy to work with you again.
Woo! That's an invite right there.
Kelly's shift is over. She preps the ambulance for the next crew on duty. It's a chance to reflect.
We have potentially saved his life. You do feel proud of yourself. You feel like you've accomplished something, and you feel like all the problems I've encountered through being at uni and USAs, it's all paid off on that one job, and you've been able to make a difference to somebody's life.
Time to go home. Roy is now feeling much better. He's had his orthopaedic shoe fitted, and it's made a big difference to his mobility. Mountain rescue casualty Sue has recovered from her fall. She's already planning her next trip to the lakes. The man Lawrence arrested for assault pleaded guilty and was given a conditional discharge for 24 months. He also had to pay compensation and court costs. And 6-year-old Odysseus is now enjoying life at home after a long spell in hospital. Doctors are delighted with his progress, and he's expected to make a full recovery. Next time, a domestic dispute, a complaint of theft, and an experienced police special Sarah won't forget.
I have to say that was actually worse than childbirth. It was agony.
Feeling the heat, rookie firefighter Helen faces the toughest of tests.
Let's get that casualty out, come on!
And one small child with one major allergic reaction.
Sore throat.
New paramedic Sam has to act fast.